What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Financier Pro. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe. I'm going to tell you why credit is your report card in life, and it's just important as having a lot of money, especially when you're trying to do great things out here. Business credit, personal credit, but you need great personal credit to have great business credit. No matter what these people tell you, what they're trying to sell you, you need both. Here's why. Okay, they're going to look at some of these companies are going to look at your personal credit before they approve you for business credit. But I want to talk about personal credit first since that's the most important thing out here. Rent going up, these evictions are going nasty. Evictions are crazy right now. People lost jobs, people had healthcare issues, some people just plain lazy, depending on unemployment, government, things like that. Always plan ahead. We all get older. If you last that long, you might have health issues. You have to plan for that. They saying that Social Security might not be around by the time we get up in age, the millennials. So you Gen Z people, Gen X or whatever, don't wait until you 25, 35, 45 years old to start thinking. As soon as you work, you need to have a game plan. Credit while you're still living with your parents. You need to work on your credit. If they have good credit, ask them to add you as an authorized user. Make sure the account balance is down. They say 30%, I say under 10%. Make sure those account balances are down. Credit is so important now. Even the government was talking about doing away with Experian on them, which I doubt right now because there's been no other word on it. But they have this system in place. They pay these companies to put this stuff on your credit report. If it's bad, they're going to keep it on there as long as they can. As long as they can. You have these credit repair companies. They can get things off, or they probably can't, but if they sell that account, this is what they don't tell you. If they sell that account to another agency, they're going to put that back on your credit profile, okay? If you have an account on there, old repo, 4 or 5 years old, don't mess with that because in another year or two, well, it depends on your state laws. I know in Tennessee, 6 years they can't sue you. In 7 years, they delete that off your credit profile. So don't touch it. Don't mess with it. Don't call them. Don't pay on it or anything. If it's a year old, you're trying to get a house or whatever in the next couple years, make a settlement offer with them. That's what I did years ago. Had a 10,000. This is when I lost everything. Um, I was almost homeless, going to court trying to get some kind of custody of my kids. Child support had me under debt. When you're in debt, it seems like you're a slave. You're in prison mentally because no matter how much you have to work 2, 3 jobs, you have to still pay your bills. You have to still pay credit. I mean, pay your everyday things like food, even your credit. You still have to pay your credit cards, things like that. But if you lose your job, like I did, like I can understand how people lost their jobs when the COVID hit, but you can't stay down. There were plenty jobs open. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do to get where you want to be at in life. So if you don't like working in restaurants, but that was the only thing available, you need to be in that restaurant. You need to have a game plan. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I changed my mind from investing to owning a business. You need multiple streams of income no matter what, COVID or not, virus or not, pandemic or not, unemployment or not. You need multiple streams of income because you never know. You might have a health scare. Your kid might have a health scare. Your mother, whoever you love, might have a health scare. You never know what's going to happen. And you need to be prepared. And being in debt, having bad credit is like a disease. You know what I mean? Because we are not taught this at a young age. I wasn't taught this. I had to learn on my own about credit, which is so important. I'm at a position now. I've been in the best position since the pandemic hit in my life because it gave me more focus. It gave me more time to strategize, to think, to make more videos, to do my music, to do other things. It made me reinvent myself. You know what I mean? So if you have a job that you don't like, but you have bills to pay, you need to focus on your credit. You need to focus on how can I be happy in life? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about being happy. But and another thing, when you're on child support, they if you get behind or whatever, they report that to your credit. They report that, and that looks bad because, say for instance, you're trying to buy a house and you owe that, you're not going to be able to buy the house. They're going to tell you you have to pay that off. Show them that you paid it off first. It can be $5,000, $10,000. Guess what? You just ruin your chance of getting a house because you're behind on credit on your child support, which reports to your credit. You know what I mean? You can't even leave the country if you owe more than $5,000 or 2,500 in some cases. So that messes up your passport. You can't do a lot of things if you have bad credit. Bad credit. A lot of these apartments are looking at your credit report, and some of them are denying you for bad credit. Yep, they are. So you can also have your rental history report to your credit report through a third party, which I did. It did help my credit out, and it's another positive trade line on my credit reports. Excuse me. It's another positive trade line on my credit reports, which looks amazing because I want nothing but positive history reporting to my credit. I got about 30 positive accounts, only a couple old accounts that's paid off that's bad. But in a couple years when it falls off, the credit will look immaculate. That's what it's all about because the more you know, the better you do when it comes as far as credit. You have to keep reading, have to keep looking at videos that help you, and you have to apply. If you do get credit cards, things like that, only apply when it's necessary. Try to apply to things that do not hit that have a soft pull. A lot of companies have a soft pull, but try not to apply for so many things at one time. That will drop your credit. But if you apply for a mortgage with different companies, your credit might drop a little bit, but it won't drop as much because they see that you're trying to buy a house and they know that you have to check around with different companies to do that. So when you do that, only apply with that certain niche one time. When it comes to buying a car, do not allow these car lots, these auto lots to um, uh, pull up what they do is they apply to all these different banks and what I call loan shark companies like Santander and Credit Acceptance. They apply to them to see if they can get you financing, but if you have bad credit, your financing is going to be crazy. A lot of people don't think about that. You might get financed 20% or above, and that financing is going to add thousands of dollars to that car, that payment or the total amount of the car. So think about that. Get a car approval loan through your credit union, bank, or somebody like Capital One. What they do is that they have a soft pull, or Carvana. Carvana, I believe, does a soft pull until you actually buy the car, I believe. So don't quote me on that. Double check that. But Carvana is another one. That goes back to having good credit, though. They still will tax you if you have a bad credit score. And they also look at your credit report. If you have old repos, things like that, you can be denied for that. Try to keep your credit card balances low. You know, If you have to use it, pay it off every month. Pay it off on time. On time payments make a huge difference. Do not default on any credit cards or any accounts if you can. If you think you're going to do that, get another job, do something, borrow the money if you can, pay that off, pay it down. Be careful overextending your debt, overextending yourself, because debt puts a lot of stress on us. It does. So you guys avoid those financial mistakes, because credit is so important. Credit is so important. This is I'm grateful for YouTube. I'm grateful for the internet, because we are finding out things so fast now, easily, that we did not know when we were younger. Millennials, we didn't know this when we were younger. Our parents, a lot of times, didn't teach us this. That's why so many people are lost when it comes to finances. Only they say 1%. Those 1% hand down knowledge. That 1% hands down great credit, wealth. You can build great things with credit. You can build a business with credit, business credit. You know, so focus on your personal credit first. Do as much research as you can. If you have to get a second job right now to pay off debt, keep debt low so your mind can be right. Once your mind is right, you can do great things in life. See you guys next time on Financier Pro.